It's the SKOR North Twins Show.
Breathe. Breathe, my man, Declan. We are live on the SKOR North Twins Show. This is going to be Twins Vent Line at some point. We can't give play-by-play because Major League Baseball will slap us upside the head. Phil Mackey, Declan Goff. We will tell you that the Twins are 2 outs away, up by 2 runs in the 9th inning. A chance to end 19 years of playoff misery. Judd's at the ballpark right now. They're 1 out away, Declan. How do you feel? Duran is mowing down, dude.
I'm surprisingly calm. I did get yelled at after the first home run. My fiance was on a work call, and there was some explicitives yelled. And I tried to warn her to get out of the house for these reasons, for the opposite reasons. But I feel shockingly calm. I'm going to save some takes here if indeed happens. I'm not going to say anything until it actually happens.
Dude, I think I give full credit to your mustache, by the way. I think the postseason / streak ending mustache is on point for you here. I mean, we're going to get into all of this, and we're being presumptive here. Yes, Judd is on standby right now at the stadium. He's literally got his phone up right now. Oh, there we go. I think this is it. Pop him in here. I think this is it. It's so hard to tell. Let's put him back down there so we don't get in trouble for Major League Baseball. But Royce Lewis came out, dude. Royce Lewis hasn't played baseball in 2 weeks. He hasn't played baseball in 2 weeks. His first 2 career postseason plate appearances, and the dude just hits bombs. Bombs.
Isn't it
one strike away?
Isn't it safe to say that was already like the greatest postseason moment I've ever experienced as a Twins fan, and it was only innings 1 and 2 of a wild card round? Isn't that really sad?
Judd, can you hear us? Is it over? You're ahead of us. Is it over? Judd, can you hear us? Is it over? We just got Judd's mouth. Is it over? But I don't want to get in trouble for Major League Baseball. Let's see. Yeah, we got, from our streams right now, we have a full count and 2 outs. And the last time the Twins won a playoff game was almost 7,000 days ago. 19 years ago. Your guy, Griffin Jax, came out. He gave up that ringing double to start the inning and then just mowed the next 3 guys down. Bing, bang, boom.
As I tweeted, that's a no-lose situation for Dex tweets. Not a win-win, but a no-lose situation.
Yeah. By the way, there is a runner on first base now because Duran just got super amped up here. Okay, so yeah, the game is not over. We told Judd make it obvious on camera, but he was like showing the crowd, so I thought the game was over. And of course, ESPN. I applaud ESPN. It shouldn't be a big secret. They start their telecast and they show the graphic. Blue Jays fans are probably wondering, hello, there's a second team involved here. Why you're not talking about us? They just showed the highlight from 19 years ago.
Yeah.
Of Ruben Sierra hitting a flare into the glove of, was it Jock Jones, who I think caught the final? Maybe it was Torrey Hunter. Can't remember. But, yeah, this is, the Twins have been here like 5 other times during the streak where they've had, 2 outs to go. They got a 2-run lead, whatever it is. I'm following Twitter here, by the way, so I think we'll see pretty instantly from like the beat writers. There it is, dude. It's over. It's over. Oh, my God, it's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. 19 years. 19 years. 18 straight losses. It's over.
Exercise the demons.
The Grady footage from Judd. The Minnesota Twins have won a playoff game. There they are. The sports dad. Yes. Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. We are live on the SKOR North YouTube channel. Hold on. Yeah, Judd, say what you want. I don't know if you can hear us. Here, let me go full screen on Judd. This is the vibe inside the stadium right now. Wave to SKOR North. Wave goodbye to 19 years of playoff misery and failures. The Twins won a playoff game.
We're gonna win, Twins. We're gonna score. We're gonna win, Twins.
God, this feels good. Vinny, it's okay.
Knock out a home run. Shout a hip hooray. Cheer for the Minnesota Twins today.
Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. Judd, can you hear us? I don't think he can hear us. We'll get Judd. Judd has his set up in the press box, so we will hear from Judd. Wow, dude. Wow. How do you feel, man?
I feel good. Vinny's barking even too in the background. I mean, this is good. This is great. I brought, in the event this actually happened. I was
here
ready
it
to
is.
rock
Let's
here.
go. Yes.
I was ready to rock here with my whiskey ginger.
Celebratory.
I didn't even have it. I didn't even have a drink all game. I resisted. I shockingly resisted.
Dude,
and I decided I need one.
Unbelievable. I mean, I was talking to my wife like an hour ago during that game. Royce Lewis getting the post game. By the way, one more. Sorry, I'm all over the place.
You're okay.
2 other hitters in baseball history have started their postseason careers with home runs in their first 2 plate appearances. If you have to shut that door, go ahead and shut it.
I am going to. Really
Okay. I want to make sure the Vinny doesn't get trapped in that room.
Oh my God, it's incredible.
2 other hitters in the history of postseason baseball have started their career with home runs in their first 2 plate appearances. Gary Gaetti in 1987 and Evan Longoria in 2008. Do you know what those 2 guys had in common in 2008 and 1987?
Both went to the World Series.
Just saying. Gary Gaetti won the World Series in 1987. But my God, the Twins, it's funny too, because like Target Field is now 14 years old. We've never experienced that inside Target Field. Ever. The losses to the Yankees, like the losses to the Astros, that's the first time in the 14-year history of Target Field, Dex, that we have experienced that feeling.
It's like I lost my virginity again or something. Like it's a weight that's been lifted off of me at this point. And even obviously, we're doing broadcast from home, but I literally said I can't, as obviously euphoric as it must have been for all the fans in there. They had a sellout crowd to experience that live. I needed to experience that on my own terms and times. And for me, that was here at home. And luckily, they just get off to just the roaring start. They never relinquished a lead. It got a little dicey for sure, as most playoff games do. No playoff games go like it is on, on Tuesday against the Tigers per se. But man, it just a weight has been lifted off the shoulders, and that's what I was listening to a lot of other podcasts yesterday, just getting ready for this and just trying to also get a feel for what else is going on in the rest of the baseball scene. And I believe it was Talkin' Jake, friend of the show, who has actually been on this before. He came on with us last year and said whoever wins this series, there is an organizational lift from 2 ends. Number one, the Twins, obviously we all know it with the playoff losing streak, but the Blue Jays also being a team that I think they have like a winning percentage the last 3 seasons of like almost 600, and they don't have a playoff win to show for it. So like they've had a great nucleus that's been ready too. And that's why now there's like this breath of fresh air if you're a Twins fan of, okay, it's over, and now you're playing with house money to get on to the next round.
Yeah. And now it's like this is the ultimate bursting of a sports bubble, right? Now think about, I know some of these players, like I wasn't around for it. These guys leaned into it, and I really appreciate that. Because some of these previous iterations of Twins teams and even like the front office and stuff, it's not really our cross to bear. We weren't around in 2004, 2006. Yeah, but you're around right now. And guess who was around? The fans. The fans have been around for the whole time, 20 years. I was telling my wife earlier today, my career in this business, my career in this business started in 2005. I was a baseball play-by-play broadcaster at KRWC in Buffalo, Minnesota, calling amateur and high school baseball games. 2005. So half of my life, I've been, just an idiot on a microphone talking baseball, talking whatever, right? My career doesn't know anything other than playoff loss and failure. people that were born in 2000, 2003, there's people that have discovered SKOR North, right? Like, there's a generation of Twins fans that knows nothing other than getting whooped in the 8th inning of a playoff game. And so to finally just pop that bubble, push all of that anxiety aside, I do wonder, and now I'm excited because for the first time we can have this conversation about the bubble has burst. The American League is sort of up for grabs. What now? Now that like this giant weight has been lifted off the franchise's shoulders and these players' shoulders and coaches and everyone, what is this team capable of now? Sonny Gray is on the mound for game 2. So there's like a whole fun conversation that we've really never been able to have in 19 years watching this streak. And so I think with that, maybe we can start break. I see you're populating the green room here. So this is Twins Vent Line, and it's just going to be a celebration of the Twins winning their first playoff game in 19 years. If you want to get on the show, we're going to use our Vikings Vent Line email address. So just email vikingsventline@gmail.com, and Declan will get as many of you in as possible. We'll hear from Judd, who's at Target Field. He'll join the show at some point, but let's turn it over to long-suffering Twins fans. You deserve this. Who's first on Twins Vent Line, the SKOR North Twins Show, Declan?
Jonah, what's up, buddy?
Hey, guys.
What's up,
Glad
Jonah?
to be on the show. That was a cathartic win. It feels so good to finally get that monkey off our back.
Yeah.
I was like 9 years old in 2004 when the streak started. I honestly don't even remember the last Twins win. And it feels so good after just nearly two decades of playoff failure to finally be done with it. Royce Lewis, there's nothing to say. The guy is amazing. He completely carried us. Pablo Lopez spun a gem. Overall, it was a fantastic game. Only nitpick is I wish the rest of the guys behind Royce would have done a little bit more, but it's a long series. I'm sure there's going to be more from the rest of the team.
Yeah, man. Jonah, hey Jonah, what year did you become a Twins fan? I'm just curious.
I'd probably say it was 2002, 2003, but
yeah.
Again, I don't quite remember all the way back there. I grew up playing baseball since I was like 5 years old. So I've been a lifelong baseball fan. Yeah.
Amazing, man. Jonah, thank you so much for starting us off here. A great way to start. By the way, I see some people. There's Judd.
Whew.
How we doing? Doing?
It's a hot one out there. It is humid, and I thought it might rain, but fortunately it didn't. And I hope the atmosphere from the stadium came through loud and clear because that was awesome.
Judd, the Minnesota Twins just won an effing playoff game.
I know. Tell me about it. So, one thing I would like to credit, though, and I don't know if you guys have talked about this, but being here in particular, all this fear about the fans aren't loud enough and the fans weren't going to be into. The fans were freaking fantastic.
They came through great on TV. Yes.
They did, yeah.
And they rattled Gosman. They did the same thing. Now, it didn't work in this instance, but if you guys recall when Corey Crawford was playing goal for the Blackhawks and the Wildcats, Jay Crawford, and he was good, but
man.
Yeah, he was, dude, throwing the baseballs out, the pitch com didn't work, he chucked it. Kudos to these fans. I'm so tired of people taking on this fan base.
Yeah.
First of all, I saw them single-handedly play a huge role in the 87 championship in the Dome. In 91, they were great. I would argue if you give them a player like a Puckett or a Royce Lewis to be excited about, these fans were outstanding. So kudos to you guys. If you're driving home right now or you're like Twins fans came through, let's put this narrative to bed that it's a bunch of elitist baseball fans.
Amen.
So
you
guys were awesome.
But I think... Here's what I would say. I think, and I'm not gonna blame fans for any part of the 18 games, but there was a part there for sure in like 2019, 2020 was the pandemic year, but 2019, I would say 2006 a little bit too against the A's, 2010 at Target Field. The feeling was a little angsty and nervous in the crowd, or it was like, oh God, There's
It was.
a Yankee on first base. It didn't feel that way at all, at least coming through from outside the stadium.
To start today's game, it was definitely anxious, but here's the difference. Again, it goes back to a guy like Puckett. Royce Lewis is like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like if you like, okay, the pitching again, and we've talked about this. The pitching was good, but Royce Lewis was for the most part single-handedly your offense. He's just that good.
Yep.
So I'm not going to disparage it or take it away, but do you know how much it helps elevate a crowd and a team when one guy's like, okay, I am the best. I know it. I mean, I can't begin to describe it. It's a star thing that we don't see all the time.
And there is. I grew up. I was born in 1985. Kirby Puckett was my favorite baseball player as a kid, and I vaguely remember like Dan Gladden stepping on the plate in 1991. But Kirby was my favorite player, and so I feel like my generation and then your generation. You were Gen X. You definitely were an adult during the Kirby Puckett era. 2 generations of Twins fans got to grow up watching the moxie, the guile, the bravado, the postseason heroics of Kirby Puckett. And I don't need to turn this into a referendum on some of the other Twins. Like Torrey Hunter had some of that. There's some other guys that maybe didn't. Royce Lewis unquestionably has what Kirby Puckett had in terms of behind the chest bone and hop on my back, boys. Hey, 0-18, hamstring injury. I don't give a rip. I'm going to hit a bomb off of Kevin Gausman and start us off 2-0. Let's go, right? I don't know how many players in the 19 years of this losing streak, besides maybe Torrey Hunter, brought that attitude to the table and backed it up with their play on the field in a big spot like this.
And keeping score of this game, as I know Dex did too, what's funny is after Royce Lewis got the second home run,
I'm dead serious.
nice book too.
It. I will
you
frame
should.
it.
You should frame it. That's actually,
you should frame it.
You know where you could put that too if you framed it? We didn't have to start that conversation.
No, don't even start that. Don't. But in keeping score, there was a period there before the walk to Solano and single by Correa in the 8th, where I believe 2 of 17 hitters reached base, and there were 7 strikeouts. Okay, ordinarily that would cause the clenching, wouldn't it? But you didn't think about it because you had this guy who had been so clutch. So this is the difference. Look, the Twins have had a lot of good players. Joe Mauer, Morneau, Torrey, who was a dynamic personality. But here's the difference. Royce Lewis goes up there in his first two at-bats, first on a 3-2 four-seam fastball, and then on a 3-1, and hits home runs both ways. It makes up for, and it gives, I'm telling you, it gives everybody confidence that this team has lacked. I can tell you right now, Puckett was huge in both of the World Series championships, and you also had guys then who followed along like Gaetti in '87 and Herbeck, right? But when everybody else can follow that lead, like that brilliance, and that's what we saw, man. Royce Lewis can barely run right now, and the dude trotted twice.
Yeah. I want to know too. We'll just do a barrage of Twins fans here, but I do want to know from the fans that come in and then in the YouTube comment section, click that like button and the subscribe button on the SKOR North YouTube channel, please. Did you get a little emotional? Did you well up a little bit? I've seen a lot of people that this was a classic sort of sports emotional moment, I feel like. Sure. And I'd love to know, in all honesty, did you get a little sports emotional watching the final out recorded? Declan, let's go to the Twins vent lines here, celebrating the Twins' first playoff win in 19 years right now.
Let's go to Jake next. Jake, what's up, buddy?
Can you guys hear me all right?
We got you,
Yes,
Jake.
we can.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I was born in 2003, and we haven't had much success, obviously, since then. But I would say, if you guys remember the Blues Wild series and how good Kaprizov was, Royce kind of reminded me of that. He said, you know what, I'll put the team on my back. And it just it got a little emotional, like a smile to my face.
Yeah.
Seeing them do that, it was awesome.
Yeah. God, the fact that it was questionable that he may not even be on the roster 24 hours ago, and then he comes in and just lights it up and puts the whole franchise, puts 19 years. He put Torrey Hunter on his back. He put Justin Morneau on his back. He put Johan Santana on his back.
38,000 plus on his back.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Amazing,
Can't
man.
wait for the Bulldog tomorrow, though. I think we'll win this one, too.
Twins and 2. Yeah, Twins and people laugh, man. People laugh when we said Twins and 2, but Who's laughing now? Jake, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right,
in fact, Sonny Gray's son, Declan, brilliant guy, by the way. I don't know. I've never given him enough credit for naming his own son Declan. Said it's playoffs. Better win tomorrow, Dad. Declan's no ball. That's all I got to say.
A couple of Declans putting pressure on Sonny Gray to close this thing out tomorrow.
A couple of Declans cutting it up. That's what we do. Let's go next to Max, or Royce Jr., as he's labeled here in StreamYard. What's
Royce
up, buddy?
Jr., what's up, man?
Nice.
Good, y'all hear me all right?
We got you, yeah.
All right, I'll be quick. I was born in 98, was a Twins fan for like 6, 7, 8, but I remember at some point them losing so bad that I just stopped watching them, literally until today. I didn't watch the Bomba Squad, I didn't watch anybody, but this team they feel good. They feel nice to watch, so I gave them a chance, and it actually brought out, some happiness. That little boy that didn't want to watch them from like 8 to 25 that I am now, he came out. So he was happy to see that. I'm hoping for, a first round battle more than a wild card 2 game. That was nice. But yeah, I'll hang up. Oh, I will say this. I have never screamed louder at a TV than when Carlos Correa threw that ball at home and got him out. I've never been so excited for baseball.
Great play.
Go Twins. I love you guys. Been watching for like years and years. Have a great day.
Awesome, man. Hey, Max, thank you, man.
He's right about that.
Dude,
that defensive play is incredible. Well, and
insane.
And I tweeted this, and it did not turn out to be bad luck. But that when that play was made, and Polanco for the second time in this game had butchered a play at third base, it felt like that might be a little bit of the reverse of our sports jinx, right? Because ordinarily you start Polanco, and we warned you it might not work. Correa comes in, and by the grace of God, Bichette hesitated for a second, or I think he scores, and Correa makes that great play. And I'll say this too: Michael A. Taylor made 2 or 3, but at least 2 outstanding plays. The leaping catch that saved 2 runs against the outfield fence, the diving catch earlier. Julian and Polanco lived up to what I expected from a fielding standpoint, but Carlos Correa and Michael A. Taylor were outstanding. And I mean, that saved their bacon, because if Taylor doesn't make that leaping catch, the score is tied. Mm-hmm. Kiermaier was on first. Kiermaier's fast. He scores.
Yeah, I mean, God, by the way, I thought Michael A. Taylor made the great diving catch. That was a can of corn up against the wall, man. All right, Louis Varland, there was never a doubt. My guy, Louis Varland, that was a pop-up. It was a little windy. That was like a mid-range pop-up.
Okay.
The wind kind of took it a little bit.
Gilberto Celestino might not get that ball. That's all I'm going to put out there.
Wow. I didn't see if you had Gilberto Celestino drive-by from Judd on your bingo card here, then you can check that one off.
He's off the 40, man.
Poor guy. Who's next here on Twins Vent Line?
Alex, what's up, buddy? You're next.
We did it, guys. We won.
Alex.
Let's go.
The Twins won a playoff game.
Here's your imaginary flag. We're waving an imaginary flag.
I can't believe it. It's so unbelievable. And, the crazy thing is, too, is a couple weeks ago, you got Royce Lewis and Carlos Correa both getting hurt. If they're both out, longer than what they were, we don't win this game today. I mean, Royce Lewis on offense, and Correa got his hit, but I mean that play by Correa was unbelievable defensively. Judd, you definitely were right about third base, and the field's a little ugly, but
they might want to address that before game 2, but it's probably not the first thing they're thinking of. There was another play before that, the headline play by Correa. Like 2 outs before that, there was a ground ball on the right side of second base, and the guy's had foot problems. Like he just sprints across the bag,
and Julian was going the wrong way.
Julian's like, "I'm good on this one, guys."
He was totally confused about the route, and Correa's just like, I mean, that's the one thing. For as bad a season overall as Correa had at the plate, again, don't take his play at shortstop for granted. We've seen a lot of shortstops in this town. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think the last shortstop that we had that in this town that makes that play is probably a Gagne type, Greg Gagne. Like, I'm not sure J.J. Hardy makes that play. Does J.J. Hardy make that play?
I'm trying to think of you don't want to hear this.
Guzzi, who knows?
What's his name? Andrelton Simmons makes that play, but
Yeah, I don't
won't
consider
die
him
on
to
that,
be. I'm not going to really put him in Twins lore.
Half the team hates him anyways, so.
Yeah.
No
Alex,
way
hey
in the
man,
playoffs.
thanks for coming on here, celebrating a Twins win. Let's keep it rocking here, Dex. Let's keep the celebration going. Well, over 2,000 people hanging out with us on this live edition of the SKOR North Twins Show.
Let's go next to Will here. Will, what's up, buddy?
Will.
Jeez. Judd, we've met. I don't know if you remember. Number
Probably
one.
not.
Two,
He definitely doesn't remember your name, Will.
When and where?
at Gopher Tailgate before Nebraska.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
See? There you go. I just need the time and place. Yes, absolutely.
Number one, it's been said 10 times already today, cannot be overstated. This means so much to people like me who are 21, who haven't seen this type of playoff success. My Lord, did that feel good when that last out came through.
Yeah. What was
Number two.
I mean, real quick, what went through your body and mind when that final out was recorded? The first time you've ever seen the Twins win a playoff game?
Honestly, disbelief. Like, this stuff doesn't happen. So it just, I don't know. Like, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Number two, Judd was right. Declan was wrong. Griffin Jax, after that leadoff double by Guerrero, was unbelievable. It ran through my mind at that leadoff double. I go, Declan's going to have a field day on Twitter. Just absolutely
He came back.
people.
He was fine.
Dude, I love that Declan is going to frame the scorecard that says Griffin Jax, 6 pitches, 3 strikeouts, and a weak contact grounded to first.
No runs, 2 strikeouts. Yeah.
He's going to frame that thing and throw it up on his wall.
It was awesome. I can't, jeez.
Yeah. Will, hey, thank you. Congratulations to you for seeing your first
Let's
Twins
tailgate again,
playoff
Will.
victory.
Let's do it again.
Judd, I will see you.
Sky U Mob, Maroon Lot. I'll see you there.
Amazing. Michigan coming to town this Saturday. Let's keep it rocking here.
I don't know. I'll be there.
Tristan, what's up, buddy?
You guys get me good?
We got you, Tristan. Yeah.
Perfect. I'll answer what you're asking, Twins fans. I'll be honest. I'm a grown man. I broke down. I'm 21 years old.
Tristan, it's okay to cry. It's okay to
Sports
cry.
crying. Sports crying's
crying is
awesome.
okay.
Purge that. Purge it.
Just like, I can't even remember his name. Will, right? That's his name.
Yep, you got it.
Still in disbelief. Like you said, it doesn't happen. And, Royce Lewis and Carlos Correa are the reason why we won today. And we've been talking about it on the side. Jorge Polanco. We've all been worried, but hey, he's great at second base. And although he made a mistake, Carlos Correa showed why he's going to be a future Hall of Famer based on his defense, because he made that play through that rocket arm to home plate, and honestly, he's the reason why we win the game. The Blue Jays could have had momentum and come back and won that game, but because of Carlos Correa, cool, calm, collected, he sat and close. You win that game.
Amen. Tristan,
thanks
for coming on.
Love
dude.
the show. Big time fan.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, I'm excited for the conversation at some point to be focused on, okay, now what? Because we haven't had that ever. In my career, we've never had the, okay, now they're winning a series, now what? But if we could put together a checklist of was it worth it or not worth it, right? The Luis Arias for Pablo Lopez trade. Worth it.
Yeah.
Carlos Correa with his questionable MRIs and potential chronic ankle problems, $30-35 million a year.
Kyle Farmer don't make those plays necessarily.
Worth it. Yep. And then Royce Lewis. Was it worth drafting Royce Lewis over Hunter Green for the first overall pick 5-6 years ago?
Worth it.
Worth it.
Yes.
Yep. All right.
Yes.
Who do we got? You got is there a janitor behind you? Right
I muted him. I don't know what that was, but let's go to Amanda next. Hi, Amanda. What's up?
Hi guys. Can you hear me?
We got you, Amanda. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm totally excited about this win. It was 19 years ago. I was a junior in high school. And it was also the same season I became a Twins fan. So you can imagine my feels.
Great timing by you.
After that streak started. But I do have some concerns about tomorrow's game, because I know I have noticed that when Sonny Gray has pitched, he doesn't get a lot of run support from us. So I'm just wondering what your take is on all that.
Yeah, I mean, first of all,
stuff,
Amanda, thanks for coming on. I love that Amanda just started the conversation that we don't know how to have, which is the Twins won the first game. Now, what do they do strategically in the second game? How do they close the series out? That's a conversation that predates social media, going back to Game 5 against Oakland in 2002. But obviously, at some point, someone other than Royce Lewis has to show. I'm not ready to have the conversation about like what went wrong yet. But yeah, like it'd be nice if somebody else besides Royce Lewis could hit a 3-run homer or something and put some runs on the board.
Yeah, I think you have to assume that it's going to be a close game with Gray and Barrios pitching, and so I think it's pretty clear cut. Polanco can't play third again. Like you can't. That is asking for trouble. I'd put Polanco at second. DH Royce, obviously. Julian probably can't play then, but I love the kid and he brings a lot with his eye and his at bats. But these games are going to be, and playoff games should be far too close to take that chance. So I think it's actually, unfortunately, pretty simple. Polanco goes back to second. Julian doesn't start. Farmer or Castro plays third base.
Let's see. But dude, Julian is one of the best at bats in that lineup.
I know.
To start the game the way that he did, just working a count, like
he's gonna face a righty tomorrow too, and Barrios, like.
Yeah,
I know.
I can't sit Julian. I would almost rather play like Julian at first base and take my chances that way, and put Polanco at second, than keep him out of the lineup.
Okay,
that's a super.
I'm
hot
just saying
right now.
I can't have Polanco at third again. That's you're asking for trouble. Like
yeah,
you
but
get
you're
it and you got
asking
away
for
with
trouble
it.
and not having Julian in the lineup against a right-handed pitcher that tends to
But what are
melt
you gonna-
down sometimes.
So are you going to put Julian, who's played like 2 games at first?
No, I'm going to drink some champagne in celebration and then worry about
So
it
you
later.
get don't go Twins 2009. Don't go game 163.
I'm not going to get slammed. I'm just
don't
like a celebratory glass of champagne.
Let's act. I know it's been a long time, but let's act like we've been here before to close it out.
Why?
Let's act like we've been here before because you can close out the series.
Judd, it's been 19 years.
I've seen 2 World Series. Close the damn thing out. It's a best 2 or 3. Win the first 2 games.
Sure.
Go to Houston. Get done with it.
You can't tell a generation of Twins fans to act. Okay, but we're talking to fans, right? Or are you talking to? Is Rocco watching right now?
I'm talking about the team.
Rocco's in his office watching.
I'm talking about the team. The fans aren't going. That if you play Polanco at third and you're the Twins, you're asking for trouble. And I agree with you. I would prefer Julian plays. But I'm saying if we're going to talk about what the team is going to do, I mean, you win tomorrow. You get a couple days off. You play Saturday in Houston. Life is good. Fans should enjoy this, but the reality is the Twins shouldn't. They should be working on how do we get out of here in 2? Because it's possible now.
I just think let's actually have this conversation real quick, and then we'll get back to Twins fans because it's fun. We get to have this strategic conversation about it. Close a freaking series, right?
Absolutely.
I agree that Polanco does not look or feel comfortable at third base, despite the fact it's weird because he's this veteran. He's sure-handed at second.
He's a buffoon in the playoffs. Like I'm just going to call it right now. He has had numerous screw ups in the playoffs. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but he has had numerous screw ups.
Well, you know what?
If it's between Julian and Polanco tomorrow, like I only get one, I'm starting Julian, and then if I want, I can put in Polanco in the event that you wanted to put in a sub in.
I need Julian's bat in the lineup. So if we're going to have a conversation about moving Polanco off third base, then we have to get more creative than I'm protecting Julian in that lineup. He has to be in lineup tomorrow.
Okay. Are you, as Dex just said, willing to take Polanco out?
How many games did Julian play at first base this year?
Like 2. 2 or 3.
You would have said 5.
I think he came in
defensive
defensive replacement, and I think he started 2. I think he's at 3. Declan's probably right.
You know what I do? Screw it. Royce Lewis at third base tomorrow.
Dude, he can barely. He can rake.
He was hopping around. He looked great.
Yeah, I don't want him hopping around. And again, I'm telling you right now, third base where you have to push off to go horizontally, that is not good for a hamstring.
This is easy. You're facing a righty in Jose Barrios tomorrow, right? You're facing a right-hander in Jose Barrios. Jorge Polanco is hitting .233 against righties, .310 against lefties. Decisions made. You don't
He
play
comes off
Jorge
the bench.
Polanco.
He comes off the bench as a
Yeah,
pinch
I'm
hitter.
fine with that.
Boom. Okay.
You don't
Okay.
start. Excuse me. You don't start Jorge.
We
Polanco.
just,
That's fine.
we just
I'm
clinched the
fine with
series.
that.
We just clinched the series.
I'm fine
right
with
there.
that.
Welcome,
Right
Rock.
there. Yeah.
I
That's
just
right.
need better.
And we've
Polanco.
never been wrong once on this show.
Never.
Okay. At
No.
all. We are flawless in our takes.
But just to be very, very clear, I think the fans should enjoy this. It's a great win for the fans. But as the player said, well, and Pablo Lopez did a great job of articulating this, which is we feel for the fans. So the fans got their win. The team has a chance now if they do this right. Like, I don't want to go to a game 3.
No, clinch
I don't want to,
Clincherson, baby.
I don't want to
Clinchity
go
clinch tomorrow.
to a game 3. Although the good news is you now have a player who will go to a game 3 and be very, very cool, calm, and collected about it.
Exactly. Yeah. You
I mean,
don't have
that
to
is the
feel
good news.
Paralyzing anxiety anymore. Okay, let's keep it rocking here. By the way, thank you guys. There's a couple thousand people hanging out with us here on the SKOR North YouTube channel. This is the SKOR North Twins Show, Twins Vent Line, where we turn the show over to you guys. Please click that subscribe button and the like button on this YouTube channel. We will be going live after all of the Twins playoff games, and there appear to be multiple more on the horizon here. All right, who's next? Declan?
Let's go to Brian next here. What's up, Brian? You're
Oh,
on
my goodness.
Twins Vent Line.
Test. Can you guys hear me okay?
Brian, yes. We got you.
Nice. What a win. Oh, my
Let's go.
goodness. Hey, just real quick, been a big fan of the SKOR North show and watching you guys listening about 2016, back to the ESPN 1500 days. Love all your work. What a win. I'm so happy. I just finished bawling my eyes out. I think my tears are gone. My family's texting me. But it's nice to get that thing off our backs. But real quick, I actually want to show you guys something real quick. I got the newspaper for when we won the 87 World Series right there. So I got a little collage and everything.
That's
so
awesome.
I got that
Magic.
there. But yeah, just real quick, I thought that big save from Correa, that was huge. Jorge Polanco, had a little underperforming game. But here's the one that I didn't hear anyone say yet, actually. What about that save from Michael Taylor out in center field?
Yeah.
Right? I think that's what it was. He saved
Two
a
plays.
home run. Yeah, exactly. He did a big deal. So that was another big critical play. But it was awesome. I'm just happy to be here. But I was born in '89. Phil, I think I'm around your age, a couple years younger. I'm 34. So I lived in Minnesota back in the day, but now I'm here in South Florida. I was there in the Dome for Eric Milton's no-hitter game.
I was too.
What?
Where were you sitting in that?
I got my ticket still. I'll have to check the section and the seats and everything. But I think I was on the third base line in the lower deck or something. It was so long ago.
We were right. We were in the my dad and I got last minute tickets in the family section. It was like the upper deck right above home plate, and I just remember it was like an 11 a.m. game or something. And
Gophers played that night.
Yes, and the Angels it was a bunch of AAA guys and Troy Glaus, I think, and Eric Milton just mowed them down. It was great.
He destroyed them. It was an awesome game. But I'm so happy we got the camo off our backs. You guys do a great job. I listen to you guys every day. It's just really hard to call in because I work 9 to 5. I'm in school. I don't have time to check in. But I'm a lurker on your channel. So
awesome.
Appreciate you,
Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you very much. Do you know who the Angels interim manager was that day? They had fired their manager, a young man at the time.
Wow. Give me a hint.
He became a very successful manager in the big leagues and won a World Series.
Joe Madden. Yeah,
Joe Madden was the interim manager. He was promoted, and then he didn't get the job.
That's right.
And then left for Tampa Bay.
Sosha, because they hired Mike Sosha, right?
Yeah.
To get the
Yeah.
Wow. All
Joe
right, let's
Madden.
keep the celebration rocking here.
Michael, what's up, buddy? You're next on Vent
Hey,
Line.
Michael.
Gentlemen, how are we doing this evening?
It just feels like
good.
a new era of Twins discussions, of Twins fandom. It just feels like a new breath of fresh air here.
It's wonderful to have the monkey off the back, especially after 18 years. I will say, though, it's very disturbing how many people born in this century had never seen a Twins victory. That's
Dude,
just...
I know. When was your first year as a Twins fan?
Oh, gosh. So I remember the 87 and the 91 World Series. So
Okay.
I'm old. I'm not quite as old as Judd, but I'm getting there.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not a lot of fun.
No, the back hurts a lot.
Yeah.
However, I got to say, nobody is saying the MVP of this game. Yes, I realize Lewis hit 2 home runs. He had all 3 RBI. But can we give it up for his bed? For him having that good night of sleep last night and being able to play today? I don't know if it was a sleep number, a Tempur-Pedic, whatever it was. We all should go out and buy one tomorrow because, gosh, that's the greatest night of sleep any of us will ever get.
It was probably a hyperbaric chamber, knowing some of these athletes, but, not sure you can get one of those on Amazon Prime, but, yeah.
Last couple of points. I've been on multiple times. Love you guys. You know it. I will say it is very exciting to have something other than wild hockey to be excited about in October. I'm not used to that, not being a Vikings fan. So, and lastly, my write that down was Royce Lewis was going to have more home runs and a better batting average than Carlos Correa. If I didn't specify, I meant that through the postseason too. I just want to make sure that's clear.
Yeah, if that was the spirit of your prediction, then we can do the math. And see what happens.
I don't know about this. Yeah, I don't know.
It absolutely was. I mean, I totally predicted that Royce Lewis is going to get hurt and need the whole postseason to beat Carlos Correa. I mean, that was completely what I thought.
Yeah. We'll take it to lawyer Chase and see what he has to say about it. All right. Hey, Michael, thanks. Congratulations as a Twins fan to you, and thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it very much.
Yeah, dude.
Yep. I think the relief too of the Minnesota sports fan plays an important role here. I mean, it's been 2015 since the Wild won a playoff series. It has been, 2017 since the Vikings won a playoff game. It's been 2004 since the Wolves won a series. So beyond the 18-game losing streak gloriously finally being done, I think anything like this for a generation now of fans is just such a breath of fresh air because, this is the fun. Like, every pitch in today's game, people were into from the first pitch on.
Yeah. I mean, you brought it up
it's great.
When you came on, 30, 40 minutes ago. The fans were excellent in this game. Dude, I remember the 2010, the game 1 against the Yankees, the first playoff game at Target Field. And I remember watching fans tell other fans to sit down, be quiet. We're trying to watch the game. And other fans, half the fans are like,
Right.
What? No, we should be up. We should be cheering. Today, it was like everybody was on the same page. It felt like during times of turmoil, sometimes you get that Minnesota sports fan butt pucker feeling in an arena or a stadium. It felt like every time the Twins came to a crossroads of, oh man, there's a couple guys on base, or boy, I don't know, Griffin Jacks gave up a double to start the inning, and now you got Vlad Jr. coming up, whatever it is. It's like
Right.
the fans rose to the occasion to try to help the Twins win the game. If that sounds corny, but that's what I felt watching the game.
Well, and I think back in 2010, there was also this sort of expectation that, I mean, one, the streak didn't look as nearly as bad back then, and two, the success had come, it had been plentiful. And so I think you just thought, okay, this team, and this place was new, and I'm sure that the ticket buying public was a different, you had people getting into today's game for $4, which is awesome. But I mean, those are the fans. Those are the, diehards and they're the people that you want to fill this place up because they're the ones who are going to yell the whole game, which again is great. They're going to taunt Gosman. So I think you really had more of a desperate fan now too, who was a real fan as opposed to the 2010 crowd here, which was probably a bit more of a wine and cheese crowd.
Yeah, no, that's right. I think
it was a different time. It was a new stadium.
Jeez, I like that.
Yeah, I think
it was a richer crowd.
It's a charcuterie board crowd.
Yeah, which is, we all love those. Charcuterie boards are great, but
although
I
do want to shout out the official post-game meal celebration here today, which is Burger Press in Edina, and it's also now they've expanded, so it's Burger Press and Shawarma Cart in Edina, 494 on France Avenue. I was actually out there yesterday for a little lunch, just sampling some of the new shawarma bowls, the shawarma burrito, and the wrap. Just incredible. So not only the best burgers you're going to find in the Twin Cities, but also the best shawarma you're going to find if you dabble. Owned and operated. It's an independently owned and operated restaurant by Minnesota sports fans, by fans of Purple Daily, SKOR North. They reached out specifically and said, how can we support what you guys are doing? How can we support Minnesota sports fans and feed them great food? Again, just off 494 and France Avenue. It's Burger Press in Edina. Also a shout out to our friends at Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Maybe you don't even need throttle therapy anymore because the Twins just won a playoff game.
Well, you still need it for the Vikings.
That is true, and for some of the other teams. And if you're looking for throttle therapy both on land and on water, Power Lodge is the place. Power Lodge is Minnesota's CF Moto Superstore. Since they buy more, you save more, and Power Lodge has new deals to get you ready for your fall escape. You can save thousands on CF Moto off-road and side-by-sides. 4x4 starting at an unbelievable $45.99. Check them out. Multiple locations around Minnesota. PowerLodge.com and MillerMarine.com.
So the Twins put out a packet of like post-game notes and stuff, as Phil knows, okay? Here's one for you. So, yes, this ends the 18-game skid, October 5th of 2004 in the stadium against the Yankees. But how about this for you? They also won their first home playoff game since a 2-1 win on October 8th, 2002 over the Angels in Game 1 of the ALCS at the Metrodome.
That's right. They won Game 1. And then
they won Game 1.
Yeah. They spun like 7 or 8 innings.
Yeah. But how about that?
Wow.
I mean, I remember that game well, but I mean, 2000. So you got to go back to 2002.
It was 9.
Yeah, because they took those two against the Yankees in 03 and 04 at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I hadn't even thought of this though.
That is insane. New era. It's a new era here. Dex, who's next on Twins Vent Line? SKOR North Twins Show.
Go to our guy Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Hey,
Jimmy.
fellas.
What's
Hey,
up?
Funny you're talking about 2002. Check it out.
Oh, is this the
hat?
Oh, look at
Nice.
this. Look at
I
that.
put
That's
that on
a
today
vintage now,
because
man.
I said the Twins actually won a playoff series in 2002.
It's a good looking hat.
I thought I'm going to wear this for luck, and now I'm going to be stuck wearing it for the rest of the postseason because I'm not going to change.
Yeah.
Nor should you.
And then, I'm not going to get into all the. I'm a superstitious guy, so right now I'm going to say okay, I was really surprised to see him come out with the Twin Cities jerseys. Were you guys expecting that?
I wasn't, to be honest. No.
Yeah, I thought they might have went with the home whites today, and if they lost today, they would have broke out the Twin Cities creams for tomorrow. So now, of course, they got to go with the Twin Cities jerseys tomorrow, right?
So it's interesting because the Rays busted out their Devil Rays jerseys today.
I heard that.
In a losing effort.
Of it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a great game. Had a great time. Judd, you might recognize where I am. You know where I am.
The glove shop.
You bet. So it was a great
Jimmy's
time.
glove shop. That's awesome.
So
and look at behind him too. You got a Carew, Oliva. Those are like vintage. Those are super cool.
Dude, is this a phone or can you give us a little twirl around the glove shop real quick here, Jimmy?
Oh heck yeah! I always am a little leery. I don't want to get any free pub, but I'll take it if I can get it.
Yeah,
well, it's fine with us,
man. No, tell people where. And by the way, where is your glove shop for the younger audience that hasn't heard of it here?
D&J Glove Repair, South Minneapolis, 3742 Minnehaha Avenue. I had some guys stop in today. Did some work for some guys. I got what do we got going down there? Yeah,
those man. Yeah,
master glove repairman. Seriously, this guy can fix your glove.
I can get this on camera. Actually had Paul Molitor stop into the shop, which was kind of cool.
Ooh, nice.
They kept so the ESPN camera showed Paul about 3 times during. They showed at first it was let's show Paul, and I think he was hanging out with his kid or something.
Sure.
Minnesota legend. And then the next pitch was like a little line drive up the middle, and Julian was unable to jump and make the catch. And they cut back to Mahler, and he's just shaking his head.
This is for Judd. This is for Judd.
Little replacements.
Little replacements, yeah.
Oh heck yeah! So yeah, it was a great night. I'm looking forward to the rest of the series, and hopefully, I think I'm in the same boat as your colleague Patrick Royce. I can't go to 3. We got to end this tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that.
Let's do it tomorrow.
I think I love Jose Barrios. He's a wonderful human, but I think all of us feel pretty comfortable with that matchup. A left-handed heavy lineup. Jose Barrios. We've seen him in action once in a while in big spots.
And the new Twin City jerseys. So yeah,
you got to keep them.
Yep, we got.
I agree with you on that. Yeah.
All right,
Awesome,
fellas.
man.
Thanks.
Jimmy.
See you, Jimmy.
Hey,
Thank
Jimmy.
you.
Appreciate it.
Jimmy's a great guy.
Who do we got next here?
Let's go to Devin next. Devin, what's
Hey,
up? man?
what's up, guys? You got me?
Yeah, dude,
Yes,
we
sir.
got you.
Hey, so I don't know. I always try to be the positive guy, but man, I was even starting to get worn down. I was like, shoot, are we ever gonna shake this streak? I mean, I was born in '97. I can actually remember when I became a Twins fan because I started as a Yankees fan. My godfather bought me all this Yankees stuff, and I went to a game the last year of the Metrodome in 2009, and of all people, Michael Kadire hit for the cycle and inspired me to be a Twins fan. So
Wow.
here we are now.
Cuddy.
What,
Amazing,
14
man.
years later, finally got to see a postseason win?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So you bailed on the Yankees in the middle of all this to be a Twins fan?
10-year-old me did not know the choice he was making at that time.
Yeah, and then
No,
I think there's something fitting about Michael Kay and Alex Rodriguez on the call for the game that winds up ending the streak.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Agreed.
And A-Rod was I thought he was insightful
awesome.
today. He thought that the Twins were picking up so he thought Gausman was tipping his pitches.
I
tipping
literally was coming on to ask what
splitty.
you guys thought about that and if Judd saw it from the stadium, if he could pick up any of that.
Well,
Thanks, Devin.
the thing that so I think A-Rod and I was going back and forth on Twitter with
Doogie.
Doogie.
Doogs.
Doogie, it's over. 18 years plus, it's over.
Doogie.
19 years.
19 years, it's
19
over.
years, yeah.
Yes.
Don't short him.
19 years. Sorry about that. It's
Shark
over.
years.
It was a very happy clubhouse, Mr. Zolgad.
I bet it was. I hope they didn't spray champagne yet,
No.
though. Hold the champagne, hold the beer, okay?
I would
And
not have
Dallas
faulted
Keuchel
them.
going crazy.
Correct.
All right, see you, Dukes. So I got a tweet about that, and I said, so I saw A-Rod was here for the workout on what
Yesterday.
day is it? Monday, and he was talking to people from both teams. So my guess is that he was tipped off that a year ago in Toronto when Gausman got hit hard by the Twins, that was the storyline. In fact, I think all the game stories were based on the fact that he was tipping the splitter. And so I wonder if Alex got it from that. But the one thing I will say is if you watch Gausman's routine, he definitely has he flares the glove out. Like there would be big time tells. He does a lot of moving and
He's a rocker.
and yeah,
He is.
and he also does this with the glove. So my guess is he very well might have something before he throws the splitter that tells them the splitter is coming.
The more you do, the more that there's. It's like
Tells.
it's like the poker player at the table that talks a lot.
Yep.
You know, it's like the more you talk, the more information you're giving away. Pablo Lopez, I was kind of watching him when A-Rod brought up the tipping thing. I started paying attention more to Pablo Lopez. He is very stoic and strategic about especially so he grips. He'll do the off-speed pitch grip because it's harder to get all your fingers around if you're digging in your glove without flaring your glove, right?
Sure.
So they might have picked something up. But A-Rod was saying Twins hitters, Gausman was throwing some of the nastiest splitters on the very edge of the bottom of the strike zone that dive down or kind of dive in on their feet, their ankles. And he was saying, look at Twins hitters' body language. They're not even offering or flinching at that pitch.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, boom, here's a 96 mile an hour four-seam fastball, and Royce Lewis is on it and puts it into the seats for a second home run, right? So they might have picked something up. And then the fact that Gausman got so frustrated at the umpire and he throws the pitch com thing, right?
But you know what?
It's pretty hilarious.
If he did that a year after the Twins clearly picked up a tell, if he did that again, one, good for the Twins, and two, it's all his fault.
Yeah.
Like, dude, if you don't fix that for a playoff game and do something for deception purposes, then I like how I think it's intriguing in baseball how we sometimes talk about this, like they might be seeing something. It's like, that's the whole point of the game. It's not cheating.
But if you don't, the thing is, if you don't know what you're doing, then you can't fix it. And that's where you start to get in your head too. You're like, do they know something? Should I not throw this pitch anymore? It's
And he was, don't get me wrong, the thing was moving, but he wasn't close. He was bouncing. Credit to Kirk, the catcher for the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
He wasn't close on half of those things. And they
He had a
were
rough
bouncing
day.
a foot in front of the plate, and he stopped a lot of them. But so then anytime, obviously, the splitter becomes that bad, and you're sitting fastball, you got one coming, no problem, belt high, and that's why Royce Lewis popped two of them.
Real quick, I see a couple comments too that MN Twins 28 A fraud has no business calling people out as cheaters. no one's accusing the Twins of cheating.
No, that's my
A-Rod
point.
was. No. This is all if a pitcher is flaring his glove or tipping his pitches, we're not talking about the Astros banging trash cans here. This is like all within the confines of what's acceptable in baseball.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
All right, let's keep rocking. We're like an hour into this Twins celebration here.
great.
Who we got next?
Jacob, what's up, pal?
Gentlemen, how are we doing? Can you hear me?
We got you, man. Yeah.
So I was born in 2001.
Wow.
The highlights of my Twins watching lives was the 2009 AL Central tiebreaker game.
Yeah.
That game was insane. That Chris Handel documentary, I remember that was one of the best documentaries I've ever seen, and him kind of talking about that kind of just reignited that memory. And then the other one was Miguel Sano hitting a grand slam off of the Indians in 2019. So, two pretty 163 was amazing, but that grand slam against the Guardians, it feels so good to watch this team win a playoff game. And I guess I have a couple of things I want to ask you guys. What I really liked when Johan Duran came in the ninth is they threw 5 straight curveballs to start. Didn't throw, because I think Kevin Kiermaier was looking for a fastball, it looks like. And he just sat there and just deceived them, and that's what I really liked. And then another thing, in the 6th inning, I think Matt Chapman was up when Louis Varland came in. And we might see Louis tomorrow because that was the only pitch he threw.
Mm-hmm.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous were you guys when he hit that and Michael A. Taylor was was running into the warning track? I'm just curious.
I thought it was off the wall, almost certainly, but I don't know. Louis Varland still, I feel confident when he's out there throwing 99. So it wouldn't prevent me from wanting him back in a game at some point this series. I was much more nervous when Griffin Jacks came in than when Louis Varland came in.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say that. Yeah, Declan was probably that over there after that leadoff double from Blatt Jr. Then he was straight nails after that. I was very happy with Griffin Jacks how he performed after that. So
And Vlad was pumped too. He got to second base, he was fist pumping, and Jacks, to his credit, settled down immediately. He did. And was outstanding. When Chapman hit the ball at first, I thought it was off the wall, but other than Royce today, the ball didn't really travel that well. And I do have a ton of faith. I mean, Taylor's really good out there. And look, between Kepler and Taylor, they get to a lot. So I actually felt pretty good about the fact that ball might be caught. And he made the catch look fairly simple, I thought. I just appreciate the fact that it wasn't. That's a ball that the Twins have had plenty of guys not named Byron Buxton, i.e. a Jay Cave, not catch.
The real work there was his speed and then his ability to not freak out when he got to the warning track and the wall. He just did a brilliant job. First of all, you got to be fast enough to get there so you can calmly make the catch. A lot of guys would be running full speed and have to crash into the fence. So just the grace that he made that catch with, he made that look so much easier than a lot of other outfielders probably would.
He's got a little bit of an ability, and I don't know, it's probably because of experience. The one thing where I will give him an advantage on Buxton in Buxton's prime is what you just said. He has an ability to, I think, read the ball more so that he doesn't he does crash into fences occasionally. It doesn't feel like he crashes into fences at the speed or at the magnitude Buxton did.
Yeah,
because you're right about that.
Is there a stat for that on Fangraphs? Full speed crashes into fences? I would say you're probably
if there's not, there should be now, because we just came up with it.
It's a new metric, yes. Let's keep rocking here on the SKOR North Twins Show, SKOR North YouTube channel. Click that like button and the subscribe button. Yeah, we got you,
what's up, Jake.
What's up, man?
Going okay, man. I am just I'm so full of this brought back a ton of memories for me. The Twins were when I was between ages 4 and 12, the Twins were I was a Twins, that was my team. That was the only thing that was my sports passion. And I kind of fell off in my adult years. Casual fan, I'll keep up with the scores and whatever, but just from the moment that game started, the crowd was insane. It kind of reminded me of the Timberwolves versus Clippers, the play-in game. Just obviously different sports circumstances, but I think just what it meant for Twins fans to get the monkey off our back. But I don't know. I'm still I don't know. I haven't watched a ton of Twins games this season, but I had a light afternoon at work, and I was like, I need to make sure I have the game on, and was just glued to it the whole game. And yeah, I don't know. I brought back a lot of memories of just.
Are
like,
you back,
know,
man? Are you back on the bandwagon? Are you back fully emotionally invested?
I think I'm back. I mean, like literally, I feel like I haven't felt like this about the Twins since that 09. Somebody just mentioned it, but that 09 game 60, whatever.
163, yeah.
Yeah, 163. When we got it, was like, oh my gosh, we can do it, and then we're like, no, we're gonna lose in the we're not gonna win a game. But
party too hard.
Yeah, that was the thing that because they won game 163, did the champagne celebration, and then they played the next day, right?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So it was,
maybe it was 2 days later.
Was it the Yankees? We always lose. Anytime
went to New York.
we got the Yankees, we're not going to win. So
Right.
it's kind of like
Right.
is what it is. But yeah,
Not
I
this year.
feel optimistic about this team. I feel like we've got a lot of guys that can play. Hopefully the future's bright, but got to win tomorrow. So
yeah. Hey Jake, welcome back. Welcome back to Twins fandom, to the
plenty of room.
bandwagon.
Plenty of room. You know what though? His point about that Wolves Clippers game, which was a fun game, again, that was another one where the sports fans in this town were fabulous. Like, that's the thing is, give them a reason. Give them a reason. Like, act like you like. Yes, I understand that we as fans, for good reason in this state, can get nervous at times. But the reality is this too. A lot of our teams also reflect that. But like today, or in that Clippers game with Pat Bev, partially, I'll give him credit. Like if you go back, that game was fantastic. The atmosphere in an arena that for the most part is, pretty drab. The atmosphere in Target Center that night was just absolutely off the hook. So again, these fans, like if you give them some confidence, right? Like if you give them players like Royce today, who just comes out and absolutely embraces it. You know what? Fans respond. It's fantastic. This is a great big game sports town when you have athletes that embrace the big game.
Yeah, but it's just been a desert that's run dry. Like you're right. Give these fans a reason to get behind something. And a lot of people don't remember what it was like when the Twins were doing this in 87, 91, but it's a special vibe when fans are getting behind a team in this town. But the teams have to give fans more reason. And maybe this Twins team, there is no big bad Yankees this year. There is no high payroll Boston Red Sox dynasty this year. The Astros are around, but you know what? A couple of the best players from that Astros World Series run were playing at Target Field today in Carlos Correa and George Springer. So there's not really that team in the American League that you should be really scared of. I'm not saying the Twins are absolutely better than everyone else, but now that you've burst that bubble and you start to look around and say, all right, well, now you got to get one more against Toronto.
Yep.
And then there's no 100-win juggernauts. Now, once you get to the World Series and play the Braves, that's a whole different story, or whoever might come out of the National League. But this opens up a whole new world of possibilities for what the Twins could do now.
And complete credit today also, Pablo Lopez came out and gave you 5 2/3, 5 hits a run, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. And we did not have, what Royce talks about, right? Which is the inning where he just struck. We didn't have that today. Pablo Lopez did a fantastic job. Yeah. And he was allowed to pitch into the 6th. There was no real quick hook. That is what you want. That is the start. Like if we were to have talked this morning and sort of diagrammed the start, he might have gone a little bit deeper, but almost everything else was the start that you want.
Yep. All right, Dex, let's keep it rocking here.
Let's go to Tim next to you on vent line.
Tim,
hey guys.
What's up, man?
Timmy.
I've watched you guys for years now. I remember my first. I live in Alexandria, so I don't get to see heard you on 1500 for a long time. But it was the Saints game after the Minneapolis Miracle. You had vent line for the Saints.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so funny.
That's right.
But,
Superstar Mike Morris and I were, I think, hosting that night. Yep.
Yep. And been a Twins fan since 1993, since I was born. I remember the last Twins win in 2004, but tonight, wow, Lopez was amazing. I can't imagine. I can't remember a pitcher like that ever in a postseason series for the Twins. So
Dude, he shoved. Yeah, and he just
been a while.
He brought, sometimes we can get a little cliche, like A-Rod does you need a shutdown inning now, right? Like you need shutdown innings. You need 6 shutdown innings, right? You can't, but he did. He would come back. All right, here's a big Royce Lewis home run. The stadium's rocking, and he doesn't come out and walk the next 2 guys and fall behind. He was on it. I was going to say he kept the tempo fast, but Major League Baseball keeps the tempo fast with their pitch clock. But you're right. He shoved. The dude walked into the freaking stadium today with a Johan Santana 2004 home jersey and said, put it on my back today. It's not just Royce's, put it on my back. I thought that was cool.
That was really cool.
Put that Johan jersey on and come in and end the streak.
Yeah.
Tim, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Good stuff.
Awesome.
A few more left here on the Twins event line side. Let's go to James next. James, what's up?
James.
Hey, everybody. I just want to say, so I was born in 2000, so I actually don't remember ever having any Twin success. It's so sad. And I got to 2019. I'm like, this is the year. This has got to be the year, right? No, I was so wrong. But anyway, so I'm a teacher too. Not a single one of the kids in class today had ever been even alive for a Twins victory, which has just got to be the saddest thing in history. And I explained, I'm like, okay, so what do you think? Are they going to win today? There were so few kids because the quote was, they always lose. And, I wrote it down. I woke up this morning, to quote Baker Mayfield, I woke up feeling dangerous. And I write that down predictions on the board. I had 6 scoreless for Pablo. So close. Close.
Almost.
Yeah. I had a rookie bomb. So home run from one of the rookies, and then a Twins win. And so I'm so excited to tomorrow to just say, I told you so. Royce Lewis, magic. And then tomorrow we just got to hope for one of those Barrios classics. He just gets in his head and gives up a couple more bombs.
Yeah.
The fans here,
Thank you.
and
thanks, James.
That's a great point because the fans here got to Gosman, and I don't know much about Gosman's mental standpoint, but Barrios, this crowd could get to him. We know that. We've seen that.
Yeah, and he's got, at least with the Twins, I don't know if this is still the case with Toronto, but I've always labeled it, he has the Brad Radke disease in the first inning where he gets rocked really early. His numbers are horrible in the first inning. So if that's the case, Twins jump on him just like they did again today. I mean, they're in control again.
This is why you got to play Julian tomorrow, because Julian draws a 5-pitch walk off Jose Barrios to start the game tomorrow.
I'm with
or at
Declan
least
on
to
this.
start the game when the Twins hit in the bottom of the first inning.
I'm with the Goff plan here.
This is easy.
I'm fine with it.
Willie
It's a good
Castro
idea.
has a 803 OPS against righties. Polanco, I mean, he slugs well, but there's a
tell Rocco. Hold on
30-point
a second.
discrepancy between
Hey,
the
Rock.
batting average there.
So we'll get here. I'm telling you what to do right now, okay?
He's probably still down there. We could let you go if you want to go down there and just. Judd's at. By the way, if it wasn't clear, Judd's in the communications room at Target Field right now.
They're nice enough to allow me to use it without kicking me out, so I'm in their media communications room.
Let's go back to the Twins vent lines here. Twins break the streak.
Johnny.
Streak is over. Johnny, what's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, man.
Super fan of the show. I just want to give a couple opinions on what I thought today. I've been just like the other boys in the show, born in '98. Never really seen a postseason win, so today was impeccable. But don't want to be a negative Nancy, but we can't rely just on Royce Lewis for 2 home runs. We're not going to go far with just 2 home runs. The boys have to get the bats going. Pablo Lopez absolutely shoved. Theobar came in, absolutely rocked. And we got Duran and Jax, who really came up clutch. I've been watching over 100-plus games this year. But, I think we have what it takes to absolutely beat the Blue Jays. But, when it comes to going to the Astros in the postseason in Houston, we got to do better with Julian coming up. And I think maybe you guys know, did he walk for this 2-run home run for Royce Lewis?
Julian walked to start the game. Then a pop-up by Polanco to shortstop, and then Royce hit the home run to left field.
Yeah, so basically we had all of the rookies producing the runs today, right? I mean, if we take away from 2019 and all the other wins, really the rookies won it for us today in terms of putting up runs. So we have to have the other part of the lineup produce for us, or else we're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I will say, and these are great points, Johnny. It is fun to look ahead and kind of speculate on how they can close a series. depending on how you feel about the 40-year-old version of, not 40-year-old virgin, but like the 40-year-old version of Justin Verlander, I think they just faced the best starting pitcher that they're going to face the rest of this series or next series today, and they beat him. Kevin Gausman is one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, and he's been for the last like 2 or 3 years. So, I think the bats will come alive if you can get past the aces that you're going to face and grind those wins out 3-1, 3-2.
Yeah.
Then go tee off on Jose Barrios. That's when I don't know if I expected them to score like 7 runs off Kevin Gausman today, even though, they've had his number, historically the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, Gausman was, they definitely, especially early in this game, hit him hard. Like, they hit some missiles. He was struggling. He settled down eventually. I guess I'm a little bit torn because I do agree. Offensively, they need more contributions. And especially if they get Barrios on the ropes, they need to deliver a knockout punch. You can't have him on the ropes and score a run, score 3 runs, 4 runs. But the other thing about today that I will say that's a breath of fresh air is 1, your starting pitcher was fantastic. 2, your young star was fantastic. And 3, despite the miscues at times at second and third base, your center fielder and shortstop were phenomenal. Mm-hmm. So, there's a lot to like. The playoff games are one, I think, sort of between the margins, too, because they're not going to be most time 10-5 or 10-4, right? So I totally get the point, but I do think that there were things today that I really liked. And credit to the Twins, they finally went out and got a capable backup, really good defensive player to Buxton. How long, Phil, did we complain going back to the radio show, right? It's like they always had Jay Cave can play. It's no, go get. At the time, I said Jackie Bradley Jr. Michael A. Taylor is a step up on that. But the point is, we did see some very positive playoff type things. But yeah, if they get Barrios on the ropes tomorrow, and I think they definitely can, it would be nice to see them, at that point, put a 5 spot up in the second and just sort of end his hope.
Yeah. Let's go to Adam here. I think Adam's the last one here. And by the way, we'll be back tomorrow after the game, too, after they finish out this series, Twins in 2. Adam, what's going on, man?
How you doing, guys? I was at the game today, and I got to tell you, to give you perspective of how clued in this fan base is that I don't want to go against your sponsors, but we know there's those 2 left field bars.
Mm-hmm.
We're empty. In the
Wow.
summer, you're in lines for
Nice.
minutes because everyone's watching the game for the first time.
It's awesome.
So when you go to a regular season game, and I do this too, people, those bars are flooding down the hallways and stuff, right?
No.
People.
That's
You walk right
great.
up today. You walk right up today. And the second thing I want to bring up, that play by Correa is better than Jeter's against the Athletics.
Wow.
That, if Jack Buck was there saying, what a play by Jeter, if he was doing the call on that, this would be a legendary play. What he did on that play is something that is beyond. Jeter just caught it, did this. He barehanded it up and threw it to the catcher in a position where he can make the tag. That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're both baseball IQ plays, though, that you absolutely love. Because on the play in Oakland with Jeter, he had the forethought to actually get into a position he didn't belong in because he thought this is how it's going to unfold and how can I help. Correa was the same because he didn't take off immediately to back up Polanco, but what he saw was Bichette hesitated. Bichette should not have gone. Once he stopped, he should have just stayed stopped. But Correa, to his credit, saw what was happening and rotated over quickly. And so it's not just a great play physically. Both of those plays are so mentally damn smart. And I'm with you, though. Here's what I loved. The fans were in this game from the first pitch, and they were hanging on every pitch. I can't tell you as a baseball fan how much that makes you feel like part of the game when everyone in the stadium is on the edge of their seat watching every single pitch, because it just doesn't happen here.
It doesn't. This is the loudest it's been since, honestly, probably the opening game when they first opened Target Field against Boston that I've been at. And I'm not as young as most of your crowd that's been calling in. So, I'm not as old as, a sports dad, but you and I are about the same age. But the thing is that this is the most electric I've seen Target Field because we were playing the Yankees. I think that we feel hope. And they delivered. And Royce Lewis, my
Dude,
God.
It's Kirby Puckett 2.0.
Gary Gaetti, I think, Judd, you pointed this out. It was Gary Gaetti and Evan Longoria, the only players in history that
the only two players in history to start their career with 2 home runs in their first 2 postseason plate appearances. They also both then went on to go to the World Series and Gaetti win it in 1987. So good omen.
Wave the flag.
Love it, man.
Ice water in veins is very important in sports.
Yeah,
ice water in their veins.
Royce Lewis has. Yep. Well, wow. The Twins just won a freaking playoff game. By God.
Doesn't feel good. Declan's going to frame his scorecard, go apologize to his fiance for screaming during her work call.
Yep.
I'm going to go
for drop. Yep, there was.
Yeah, well, I have to go home and tell Dawn there's a very good chance I'm going to be tied up on Saturday. Can't go to the Go for Michigan game. So
I think there's a chance you might be tied up longer than that.
Hey, you know what?
Now that this bubble has burst.
Well, and how much?
I think you might want to start looking ahead to the following weekend as well.
And how much fun? And how much fun will Sunday be if we are faced with possibly like 2 vent lines? I don't even know what, because like the Twins would play hopefully early, then the Vikings start at 3:00 with the Chiefs. How much fun is this?
I don't even know. It's been a while since we've had that type of a champagne problem in Minnesota sports, where we have to. I think we had Wild Wolves conflicts for sure.
Yeah,
but we're day by
that's
day
2
here.
different shows. But that's 2 different shows. Like this is us. For Vikings and Twins, this is us. This is not Phil goes and does the Wolves and Declan and Judd go and do the Wild. This is Sunday could be. I'm not complaining one bit. I'm saying it's off the hook fun.
Yeah, we'll have to figure it out. We have to bring reinforcements on board. We will, but amazing. The Twins just won their first playoff game since October of 2004. Today, they are 1 game away from clinching their first playoff series since October of 2002. And we appreciate all you guys coming in, supporting the SKOR North Twins Show, supporting everything we do here. Click the subscribe button and the like button on the SKOR North YouTube channel if you haven't already, and go pour yourself responsibly a celebratory drink. And cheers to all of those Twins rosters that couldn't get this done over the last 19 years. Any final thoughts from you guys here as we say goodbye?
So Dex, did you cry or not?
I did not cry. I was
if they win the
surprisingly
series,
calm.
If they win tomorrow, will you cry?
No.
Okay.
This was a more emotional.
Yeah, that's what I would think too.
For sure.
Right?
Agreed.
No, I will most likely, if I'm getting really ahead of myself, I will bawl like a baby if they win a World Series.
Oh God, yeah, yeah.
Like, even though the Vikings have never won one, I don't know if I'd cry over that. I would cry over the Twins winning a World Series.
I think there's some other factors at play here for Vikings, because I feel like if the Vikings were to win a Super Bowl and we were live on Purple Daily, Ventline, and everything that Vikings fans have helped us build here from the ground up at SKOR North and Purple Daily, I just feel like that community would be pretty emotional, just being being in the middle of that community.
I think winning a championship in the NBA, NHL, NFL, or baseball would probably bring you to tears.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's a pretty.
Neither does Declan. We don't know. We're not sure. We've never had to test that out.
When Gene Larkins, when Gene's hit to left hit the dome turf, it was hard not to tear up. So
yeah, dude, amazing stuff, man. Royce Lewis, put everyone on your back, kid, and do it again tomorrow if you have a couple more swings left in that hamstring. So, all right, we're going to say goodnight. Judd is packing up at Target Field here. And once again, just thank you all for joining us and celebrating the Twins' first playoff win. We literally have to change the intro banner on the YouTube channel for tomorrow, because it says we just want the Twins to win a playoff game before don't think it says before we die, but like we have to talk to our
Just one
graphics and
playoff
art
game.
department here.
Yeah, we'll have to figure
One
that out.
playoff game. So, all right, that's a wrap.
It's over my pay
Twins
grade.
vent line on the. We'll make Judd do the graphic and just see what it looks like tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow after Game 2 here live on the SKOR North YouTube channel.